Yesterday we could win the first place of Flame Game Jam. So Flame Game Jam was a 2 days contest and we had to build a game using Flutter and Flame Game Engine in only 2 days. In this video I'm going to talk about the procedure or steps that we went through to win the game. At first, let's take a look at the demo. Hi there, this is Imaneo. Welcome to my channel. And at first, let's take a look at the Flame Game Jam here. It is in itch.io. And by the way, I will put the link into the description. So it was in December 8th to 10th. And you can read the description. And basically, it had a theme. And we had to build a game using this theme, hot and cold. Before that, for sure, we had to use the Flame Game Engine. So it is a game engine built on top of the Flutter. You can build a 2D games. It has a lot of built-in components that you can use for your game. And yeah, I will put the Flame Engine link into the description also. Yeah, we had to build a game using this theme, hot and cold, and we had to choose a limitation. So there were 3 different limitations and you needed to choose one of them and build your game with the limitation. The first one is single button input. It means that your game should have only one button or one input. And the other one was multiple endings. You can build a game that ends in the different scenarios or different stories, something like that. And the other one is no text. So this is the limitation that we chose for our game, and we built our game without any text. I think it was the simplest limitation. And about the rating, there were 4 different categories of rating: graphics, audio, game design, and theme. And also we had 4 or 5 judges who rate the games at the end. About the prize, the first place was $300. By the way, I got 300 euros. I'm happy about that. Plus $300 worth of snack boxes. Also, there were 20 dashes as the gift or prize for the winners. And it is sponsored by Invertase and Flutter. So a big shout out to them. And also it is organized by Bluefire. So Bluefire is the organization on top of Flame Engine and also some other open source projects. Thanks to them. Okay, here you can take a look at the submissions. So we had 33 submissions. And in the result tab, you can see the final result, the sorted result of the game jam. This is us. You can take a look at the scores. We got 4.4. And the second place is DevCage, who has a lot of tutorials in his YouTube channel. I will put his channel into the description. I highly suggest you to take a look. We were very close. So as you see, he was 4.37. The other one is a great game. So I highly suggest you take a look at the games. They are really great. Okay, now let's take a look at our game, Save the Potato. It is developed by me as a programmer and my wife Fateme as a visual designer. So she is basically a backend developer, but in this challenge or contest, she helped in the visual design things or animation things. Here we have the waiting list. It's a Google form to collect the email addresses from the people who want to get notified when we publish the game. I will put this link into the description and you can join the wait list if you want. At first, I want to take a look at the source code, but before that, I want to mention something that we did in this challenge. When the challenge started, we got the limitations and also the theme of contest or game jam. For the first 2 hours we did nothing. We just started to think about the ideas and the limitation, or yeah, it was only brainstorm for the first 2 hours. And after that, we came with a basic idea, not a complete idea, and we decided to visualize it, and step by step we went through it. So I will show you the commits that shows the steps that we took. This is the GitHub page, by the way. You can take a look at the source code by yourself, but here I will explain some technical things of the game. Okay, so this is the final state of the game. We have everything polished, we have animations, we have particles, and yeah. And by the way, on the bottom right corner you see the analog timer. That's why we decided to choose no text limitation, and that's why we had to represent the time with some visual concepts. So it's a timer, and it shows how long could you save the potato. And yeah, I'm going to lose. Yeah, as you see, when you die with the heat or with the fire, your potato burns, and this is the score that you take. Now I'm going to talk about the steps that we took, and using the commits that I have. And I will start with the first one. Yeah, this is the first commit that I want to show you. Actually, this is not the very first commit, but this is the first commit that I want to show you, because in this commit I implemented the basic mechanic of the game. So basically we have a circle at the center, and we have two shields, the blue one and the red one. And in this stage we had no idea about the potato or something like that. Actually, the name of the game was something different. I decided to choose a generic name at a start, for example, hot and cold game, to just start and go through some basic concepts of the game. And then later we decided to build the concept, and it was the potato. So in this state we had only a circle at the start. We knew that we have to replace it with a character, with a live character. We had to implement the shield animations, but for the start we just used some basic shapes to implement the mechanic. As you see, you can rotate the shape by the dragging mouse. At the next step I tried to add some orbs around the target, which goes or moves towards the target. So they are blue and red, and in this step I just decided to implement the collision detection. So as you see, the red one goes through the blue shield and vice versa, but you can defend the creature with your with the color of your shield. For example, red defends the red ones and blue defends the blue ones. And let me show you the collision detection that I handled for it. So I'm going to turn on the debug mode, and if you run the game, okay, as you see we have, let me increase the shield size or shield width to something like 30. Okay, as you see we have a collision detection around the shields. So it's a curved collision. It is built using Polygon Hitbox. So if you want to know about the details, how can you implement a curved hitbox, you can take a look at the video. I have a series explained how to implement a color switch game. So in one step we implemented the collision detection, and I've talked in more details. You can take a look. And the other orbs has only a circle hitbox. And yeah, so in this step I just focused on the collision detection, nothing more, nothing less. And in the next step I tried to design some animations for shields. So if you take a look at the assets, we have some flame parts. So these are flames of a fire, and I have 8 of them. I use particles to generate some animations. Actually I just showing them moving them with a slow movement, and changing the color and hiding them. So I repeated it for the shape of the shield, and yeah, it's really simple. I will show you. It is in the shield.dart. We have particles. So here I said every 4 milliseconds create this particle system, which has, for example, accelerated particle. The sprite is a random sprite. We have a random function here, next int. We chose a random flame between these 8 flames and we show them. And here we have some randoms for acceleration movement. We have 2 seconds of lifespan. And for example, here we change the opacity to, for example, it starts from 0 to 5 and 5 to 0. It works like this. It shows the flame and hides the flame. And also we have a simple rotation, and yeah, it renders the flames. So particles is like a lot of minor animations that are running for an area or something like that. And the point is that all of them are in black, and I just changed the color with a color filter. So here, for example, you can say I want to draw it with colors dot, for example, green. And if I run the game, as you see, all of them are green. So you can colorize a sprite or shape with color filter. Okay, the next step, I decided to add some particles for the orbs and also shake the camera when they hit our target. So by the way, again, we have particles for the orbs. This is not the final one. This is the early first stage of the orbs animation. We improved it later, but yeah, so we shake the animation using this logic. I will show you in the player. We have an on-collision method or callback, which calls whenever something collides with your shape, and we check if other is element ball. We shake the camera using this method. So we only add an effect, a move effect, with this noise controller, which and also this is the amount that we want to shake the camera. So if we change it to, for example, 80, as you see, it is very severe and distractive. Yeah, you can use this method to shake the camera to implement this effect. Okay, so in the next step, we have finalized the shields animation. As you see, it is more beautiful. We added the snowflake particles, and here we added flame or spark particles. And as you see here in the assets, we have snow. It is like this one and this one. And in the sparkle, we have these 2 shapes. And again, we only generate them using particles with the different direction, go through the outside to make a flame-like animation. And by the way, you can check the source code in the shield class. Yeah, as you see here, we have particles, and yeah, I said every 4 milliseconds we have 2 particles. The first one is responsible to draw the base flames that we showed you earlier, and the second part is responsible to draw the snowflakes and extra particles. So for example, if I comment this section and run the game, you see that we only have the snowflakes and sparkles. So here we have, again, we have accelerated particle with some random values. So it says they are going to move towards the outside of the shield. And yeah, the combination of these 2 animations make this beautiful effect. Okay, so as you see here, we have a heat level. So if you receive an ice, it decreases, and also if you receive a heat or fire, it increases, and you need to keep the balance. So yeah, you can die out of heat or fire, or you can die out of ice or coldness. And also here, as you see, we have a debug panel. I just showed it in the debug mode to see uh, the some values, for example, how much time is passed, and um, we make the game more difficult when the time goes, and this shows how much the game is difficult at the moment, and this way I could tune the difficulty of the game, but I need to improve it because some people say that it is very difficult at the beginning. And the next step, we decided to implement a beautiful bar here instead of a number. Also for the character, we decided to use Rive animation. If you don't know what Rive is, it's an animation engine. You can build your animations in the editor that they provide, and then you can export the animation and use it in the app. So they support a lot of platforms. For example, Flutter is one of them, and yeah, the point is that it is very fast and performant, and also you can add some interactions between the code and the animation. For example, yeah, by the way, this is the animation that they show to get started. Cute cat is here. Okay, so this is the design that we have. The first one is the actual potato. So you can design the potato here. What we did is to we added eyes, for example, mouth, or these dots, or yeah, everything is a separate thing here. For example, oh, what is this? Eyebrow. Yeah, for example, this is the eyebrow, and this is the eyes. You can move them, and yeah, and in the animation, if I go here, you see that we have a state machine. So in the state machine, you can control it in the app. We have the idle effect, which has a simple blink animation. Let me see whether it works or not. Yeah, as you see, we have a blink animation. It is in the idle state, and in the app we have some inputs. For example, fire hit, ice hit, fire die, and ice die. And in the source code or in the Flutter app, I can manage to run these animations. For example, if I run the ice hit, it shows this animation. It's like a cold effect. And here we have the fire heat. It turns red, and yeah, it's something like it's burning. And the other one is ice dye. So you see the ice around the potato, and the other one is fire dye. Let me get back to the idle. Yeah, the other one is fire dye, and as you see, it burnt, and the black things goes around, and yeah. And yeah, this was the actual potato, and the other one is the potato state bar. So this is the status bar, and the goal is to keep the balance between the heat and cold, and the best way is to stay at the middle. So you can strategically choose to receive some heats if your potato is here, or vice versa. So if you receive, for example, 3 heat balls, 1, 2, 3, you get here and you lose, because here you see a skull that shows you will die out of fire. Or also, if you receive 3 ice balls or ice orbs, you will die of ice or coldness. Yeah, again, this is it has some animations again here. It is not efficient, but this is what worked for us. We have different kind of animations. For example, we have a controller and we have an input. So you can say that the initial state is 0 and the heat level is increased. So if you run it, you see that it goes to the first one. And yeah, you can do the same for other steps in the game. You can take a look at the source code. And yeah, after that, as you see, we implemented the bar with a simple state because I wanted to implement the logic, but she wanted to work more on the details. For example, as you see, we have skulls here without any ice cube or fire, and that's why she exported the animation, and we could parallelize the process. I implemented the logic and she was trying to implement the details of the animation. And yeah, I just put it here and I could check the logic, as you see. By the way, the music that we used is from Pixabay. So Pixabay is a website where you can find a lot of free resources, music, sound effects, and other things. And yeah, in the last state or last commit that I want to show you, it is the final state of the game. And we polished everything. As you see, we have a fire skull and ice skull here. And we have a rotating two-ways arrow here to let you know that you can rotate the shield. And we implemented the timer. So if you want to check the timer, you can go inside the widgets. We have analog timer. Yeah, here with the canvas, I just try to draw the lines and the ticks here, and yeah, it's really simple. You can take a look. And what I want to talk about is the debug panel. So as you remember, I had a debug panel. It really helped me to develop the game. So I suggest you to have something like this for your game, to turn it on for the debug mode, to check the variables or this kind of things. And yeah, by the way, I tried to have separated directories for the components and widgets, effects, or other things. So you can take a look at the source code. It is not too complicated. And the final thing that I want to show you is this image. I tweeted it on December 10th. It's a picture from me, Fatima, and our cat. His name is Raymond, and he were working so hard for the challenge. And yeah, as you see, here is my laptop working on the potato, and here is Fatima's iPad working on the details scroll or the status bar. And yeah, so I think we are done. Don't forget to subscribe my channel or hit the like button if you like the video, and also don't forget to write me your feedback about the game, and stay tuned. Bye.